Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at how we can customize the window itself. As part of this customization, we're going to cover how to change the window's title, how to set an icon for it, and how to handle sizing and resizing of our window. So every application window that we work with has a title. And you can see it here in the example image as it's untitled edited. And this is an application that can have multiple different windows open, all opening a specific document, which is why it would be untitled in that case. So that's important to realize that we can customize this in ours too. And up to this point, it's probably either said Python or TK, depending on the operating system that you're running with. If we go and we create a simple application here, we can see that we just create a root object and we render it. We're going to have it saying just TK. If we want to go and customize this, then we're going to use the title method off of our root element there. So we can just set this to a simple string and we're pretty much good to go. Setting an icon is also something that's kind of important for us to do if we want to just really control the look and feel of our application and make it memorable to the people who are using it. And there are two places really that we're going to see icons show up. It's going to be the window icon, and this depends on your operating system. For instance, macOS does not have window icons that you'll see as we're just rendering out our application here. But on Windows, you would see that the default one is going to be a feather, but I've used a custom one here to change it to actually be a check mark right there. And then the other place that this is going to show up is going to be in your dock, for instance, or your app switcher. So you can see here that the default one is on macOS, and the app switcher is just going to be a document, I guess, document shortcut because we're running a file. But if we want to customize that to actually be more indicative of the application that we're running, then changing the icon in this one way will actually change it for both of these positions, depending on the operating system that you're using. And then lastly, window sizing and resizing are things we're going to cover here. And that's going to be the minimum size that we can work with, the maximum size, whether it should be resizable, and then the default positioning and size. And you can customize all of that using the geometry method. So I just wanted to briefly talk about these, and then we can jump into a quick demo to actually show you all of these in action. So from the area where we've been building our programs here, I'm just going to create a new one called window.py. And I have pulled in an icon here. So this is where that green checkmark icon is, and you can find this in the resources for this course if you want to go ahead and do this so you don't have to look up your own images to work with. But from within here, let's just build a simple application that we can render out this icon and adjust the sizing and resizing. So we'll say the things that we normally do here using TK and root main loop. Let's go ahead and set the title here to be my window. And then to actually set the icon, we're going to use icon photo true, which this specifies that if you create any other windows with this application, because you can have multi-window applications, then this icon should be used for all of them. And then the actual image itself, we're going to use TK photo image, and then we're going to give it a file name that is going to be relative to where we are, icon PNG. Before we actually go and run the application, let's set the geometry, which is going to allow us to specify the width, the height, and then we can also specify the position that it's going to show up within the screen. So we'll use 500 by 300, and then it's going to be plus 200 pixels in both the X and the Y direction. We'll also say for the resizability of this, that the width is resizable, but the height is not. And then if we wanted to say what the min size was, we could say that the width is going to be 500, height is going to be 300, and then the max size, we can specify the width of, let's just say 1000. And the height of 400, although we're not going to be able to resize it. So I like to put my specifications first and then turn off the resizing if I need to. But this pretty much covers all of the things we're going to customize when we're working with a window. And if we go and we come down here and we run this using Python, then it's going to go ahead and place it. And this is the size that it gave me. So this is going to be 500 wide, 300 down. And you'll see that I can adjust the resizing here. And I actually set the resizability to be true on both those. I meant to set one of them to false, but this will show you what it can do. So we can resize it, and we're hitting our max limit of 1000 and the max height of 400. But if we came in here and we changed it to where height was not resizable, then we would just simply never reach that. So let's go ahead and rerun this again. And now we can resize this way, but it's not even going to give me the cursor to resize in the height direction there. So this pretty much covers the basic customizations that we're going to need to know how to do when we're working with our windows, because nothing's worse than having it give you the default generated window that is precisely 15 pixels wide or something like that. It's very, very small and not super useful. Even if you're just putting a couple buttons on the screen, it's nice to be able to control the size that you're working with and to dictate that if you were to resize this, it wouldn't make any sense. So please just don't make this window resizable. So these are things that are really useful to know. And they're so simple because they're just one method really a piece in order to fine tailor the look and feel of your window.